Hello, hello. I apologise if I look incredibly warm at the minute. The UK is currently going through another heat wave. I've got a really exciting video today, and despite the heat wave, I wanted to just get on with it and make sure I could actually do this video. So I've received a parcel. I actually received it like a week or two ago, but we've been incredibly busy and it's been so warm. We've been away doing various other things, but this is from the lovely Jim at Fulcrum and the Force. Jim has been making Star Wars content since 2020. He's what inspired me to pick up one of my first proper lightsabers and actually to give unboxing and review videos a go. And he's recently started his own lightsaber parts business called the Fulcrum Forge. So when I reached out to him and said I'd be interested in reviewing some of his lightsaber parts, I was very surprised and very pleased that he got back to me and said absolutely yes, of course. And he has sent me this box of goodies to take a look at. I've opened the box just to remove my address, but I haven't actually taken a proper look inside yet. We had a bit of a back and forth conversation about what parts I liked from what they were offering and what sort of colours I liked from there as well. So I don't know what's in here. We're going to take a look, give them a review, see how they work. I've got a core charging over to the side. So if I switch to the overhead cam, we can now open the box. Okay, lots of bubble wrapped goodies. So, ooh, okay. I'm gonna open things one at a time. I'm gonna move my mouse out of the way so I can put the box over here. We'll take a look at what's inside each bubble wrapped goodie. Tape. My worst enemy. But I do appreciate that it's all been packed really, really nicely. Okay, so first goodie out of the box. Ooh, okay, so this is a very pretty 3D printed lightsaber stand. That's gonna be very nice to display some of these very pretty parts on. So I'll pop that over to the side for now. Next one looks like another little lightsaber stand. Oh, that's cool. Ooh, yes. It's like a... okay. So no, this is different. So here we have a wall-mounted stand, which is very cool. I do have my personal lightsaber over here behind me on just like a broom pole thing. This will be very cool to display a lightsaber like on its side on the wall. That's very, very cool. That's really, really nice. Very cool. Okay, that's some nice things. I didn't know. I thought it was just going to be lightsaber parts. I didn't know I was going to get like some free cool stands as well. So that's very cool to see. Now I'm just going to start pulling lightsaber parts out of the box. There's so many bits in here. I'm going to pull them all out and then we will unwrap each thing individually so then I can get the box off of my desk. So you should be able to see now, I've got like a smorgasbord of lightsaber parts here, so I'm just gonna start moving them over. First part here. Ooh, okay. So this is one of the colors that I was really excited for. This is one of his pommels, Scuttle pommel, but this is in their very pretty Fulcrum Forge purple color. It's very, very nice. First impressions, really, really good quality. Like it's a chunky bit of metal. I mean, you can see it on the camera that is a hefty piece of metal. Okay, very cool. Very happy I opened a purple piece first. I can see this one through the bag and this is exciting to me. This is one of the parts that I'd said to him I was very, very interested in opening and having a look at. This is the Ventress emitter. Oh my god, it is so cool. That is such a pretty lightsaber piece. It is so well machined as well. It doesn't feel like flimsy. And I love the shiny contrast to the matte parts on it as well. That is so, so cool. I can see, excitingly, there is another one here in that other very exclusive color, orange. Now, these two colors to me are very exciting. I love spooky things. I love Halloween-y things. So orange and purple parts are so, so cool. The two different Ventress emitters in different colors, they're so cool in their own ways. Oh, I'm so excited to build some saber combos with these guys, but we've got more parts to look at. This is the ringed emitter in like a chrome silver color. It's very cool. That's like a very standard Jedi emitter piece. Really, really nice. So Jim did make me aware that some of these are like prototype pieces and certain things on them may change, but to be honest, I haven't noticed anything that I would want changing with any of them yet. It's really, really cool. This is the bolt switch in their brown color. This is very cool. More earthy options are really cool for sabers. Not many saber companies do like earthy options for parts, so this is really cool to have if you're trying to build like almost an elemental and nature type thing. Very, very cool. We've still got so many pieces here. Jim is so generous. I cannot get over this. Oh my god. Okay, so this is something that I thought was really, really cool when I saw it on the site. This is the crown pommel. Got it in that brown color again. That is so, so cool. Oh my god, I really want to build like an orange and brown saber to try and do like a pumpkin saber, and this would be perfect for it. This is such a cool pommel. These parts are not like super sharp. They're sharp enough. Obviously, if you hit your hand into them with enough force, it would probably hurt, but that's something I appreciate because these could have been a bit of a danger. So that's something that's really good that they've thought of. You can see like a beautiful pile of parts building up here. This is the clamp switch. This is designed to look a bit like, obviously, the clamp sections on some of the iconic sabers. Very, very cool. It's got like a grid texture, you might be able to see there. It's really, really nice. This will be nice for like a very subtle lightsaber build. Very standard Jedi or Sith build. Next up, another purple piece. That's very cool. This is the Survivor grip, inspired by Jedi Survivor, Fallen Order. You can see it's got that same sort of cross texture. It's really nice. It's got like almost a bevel to it. It's a bit hard to show on camera. There you go. You can see like it bevels in. It's a really nice one to grip. This is going to be very, very cool. I've got a nice mix of purple and orange pieces here, which I'm seeing build up, and I can see another bright orange piece over here. So I'm very, very excited that I can build a purple and orange saber. I'm gonna pull this other part first before I open the last piece that I've got over here, which is an orange piece. So this is the graduated pommel in black. This is very cool. It's got a little hole in the top for a D-ring. Very, very nice. Yeah, that's a very like, I was going to say a standard looking saber piece, but it's not. It is a different looking piece. That's what I appreciate about all of these pieces. They're all very unique to Fulcrum Forge. None of them feel like parts that I could just go out and pick up at Padawan Outpost or anything. They all feel very unique to his brand and this business. I don't think there's anything similar to any of these so far. Finally, I'm going to open the last orange piece. I love all of these orange and purple pieces. Are so, so sick. The final orange piece is... Ooh, okay, immediately obvious what it is because of the design. This is the spiral grip in that beautiful orange color again. That's very cool. It's almost like a leather wrapped type thing. It would be really cool to get a thin enough piece of leather wrap to put between the spiral as well. That's very, very cool. So we've got all of our pieces laid out here. We have actually got 2 pieces of every color. So I'm gonna grab a core. I've got a core charging over to the side, and I'm going to start putting together some combos of cool pieces. So I think, like I said, I want to try and do a pumpkin saber. So I'm going to grab this orange grip, this orange emitter. I may as well go for the brown switch section and the brown pommel. And we'll build a saber with those at first. And if you've never used the VHC system before, it's a really, really simple system to use for lightsaber parts. So literally, this section just slips over your switch section. That's probably what you want to start with. This core comes from Padawan Outpost. It is a Xenopixel V2. I'll take this set screw. So I just borrowed this from one of my other sabers. And you just line up the pieces and screw in the set screw. And that will start pushing the button and the charging port forward. So you just want to do it until the charging port and the button sits flush. And then we will grab our grip section next. It's already very cool. I'll pop on the pommel next. And then we'll pop on our emitter. One thing I love about these pieces already is that there seems to be no specific alignment for them, so you won't need timing shims or anything. It's a really annoying thing sometimes. You get lightsaber parts that look really, really cool, but they only look really cool at a certain angle, so you'll need to get these little disc things called timing shims to make them sit properly. But this, it's not for everyone, but this is very cool to me. My pumpkin saber, that's so sick to me. I really like this as a lightsaber design. I'm going to get a blade in this and we'll take a look how it looks like lit up, because you can see the Ventress emitter has these sections that the blade will shine through. But also, I've been speaking to Jim a little bit about this. I make my own crystal chambers. This is a little prototype one that I made for my partner Rue, but these will sit very nicely in here to show a crystal chamber shining through. But we'll start off with a blade and go from there. Okay, so we now have a blade in the saber. I've just got my little short Shoto demo blade. That's the blade that I use in this saber as well, because it's really long. But actually, this looks like a really nice like offhand saber. I'd love to do almost like a Pumpkin King type Star Wars character and have like this saber for it as like a Shoto saber. So let's fire it up and see how it sounds. Because one thing I always like to check with pommels and other lightsaber parts is how the saber sounds, because if they don't give enough resonance, the saber sounds a bit mid. So let's fire this up and see how it sounds.
Power on.
Okay, so I've got the Mando voice lines for my saber. Already that sounds pretty bassy. Let's turn it on. Oh, that's very cool. I've got an appropriate color at the minute. I'm using the raw sound font. This is so sick. This is such a sick saber. You can see that shine through on the emitters. Really cool. That's very cool. Let's see it in a different color. Green could be cool. Oh, there we go. We've got like the stalk of our pumpkin now. This green never shows up like the proper green it is on camera, but this is so cool. I could play with this combo all day, but let's take a look at some other combos and see how they look. So these crystal chambers I've been working on designing literally just fall in place like this. They then sit there between the blade and the core. If I fire it up, we should see the blade and crystal chamber come on. I love being able to see the little crystal chamber in there as well. It's just something different. When you do things like the force effects, you see it go all the way down the blade. There we go, and down to the crystal chamber. That's very cool. Very cool with this. Oh, okay. Right, let's not get caught up. Let's look at some other combos. And as I mentioned, putting them together is very simple. Taking them apart is just as easy. So you undo this little blade set screw, take out your blade, we'll pop that over to the side. And then it's literally just a case of unscrewing all the parts. So I haven't fully built this saber yet because I wanted to showcase a little bit of something I was talking about earlier. So these are VHC parts, and I was looking through the grips and I was like, I want to build like an almost standard looking Padawan or Jedi saber. So I then went rooting through my parts and I have this grip from Padawan Outpost. If I pop that on, this is to showcase that these parts also work very nicely with Padawan parts. Like seamlessly, they look very nice. If I jump into my parts section over here, I have this nice like gunmetal part from Padawan, and I think that looks pretty cool as a saber. If I pop in a blade, if I then turn this on, this makes a pretty cool almost like Padawan saber. It's very nice. That emitter part is lovely. So is this clamp switch section. That's very nice. And then obviously these two parts are from Padawan, but you wouldn't be able to tell that they're from different brands because they just work seamlessly together. It's very cool. I've got this really cool mini maul from Padawan Outpost behind me and the black mini maul emitter on it. Just want to try something out a second. That is such a cool like stealthy looking like Sith blade. That's awesome. This part from Fulcrum in particular goes well with this grip from Padawan. I can't remember what this is, but it's from one of their like standard, very cheap Xenopixel sabers. It looks so cool. This might be something that I use as a build for another Star Wars character in the future, because that's very cool. Okay, that was just a little tangent. Let me make one more build out of Fulcrum parts before I close out this video. Now this is a very funky color scheme. Not necessarily for me, but it might be the right color scheme for someone. I think personally, I like to have quite often my emitter match my grip or have like color theming throughout, and then one or two other random pops of color on other parts. So I think, personally, for me, I'd probably go something like this if I was going for a crazy color combo, but you don't necessarily need to do that. I do want to show off this survivor grip a bit more, so I think if I go for something like this, if you just wanted a little pop of color in your saber. Honestly, there are so many different combos that you could go for here, and it's all down to personal preference. I recommend having a scroll through Fulcrum's website, having a scroll through Padawan, Via, because like I say, all of these parts are compatible with each other. And I will have a video coming out soon on a bunch of these different parts on how to get a Galaxy's Edge-like experience at home. You can see, like, even in a few minutes, I've just thrown together a bunch of different combos that all still look pretty cool together. I think if I was going for something almost Halloween-y themed, I'd probably do this pommel section and then this emitter, and that's a pretty cool Halloween themed saber without necessarily being pumpkin based. I think that's really, really cool. And that's where I think we'll leave the video for today. These parts are honestly so cool. I can't thank Jim enough for sending them out. Please go check out Fulcrum and the Force, and more importantly, Fulcrum Forge. I'll have everything linked below. Super high quality. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect, but from watching his channel for years now, I knew it wasn't going to be bad quality. He's looked at a lot of sabers, good and bad, and knows what he likes and what should be in saber parts. So I had high hopes for them, and yeah, definitely didn't disappoint. So cool to receive these parts. I can't wait to see what else he makes in the future and to take a look at more of the parts. There are some really cool ones on Padawan Outpost that I want to take a look at. But for now, I think I am going to be going back to that pumpkin saber because that pumpkin saber is so cool. We're going to do a shoot with some of the purple parts. My partner has put together a Rapunzel Jedi recently, so mixing in some of the parts with their saber. I'll get some of these over to my good friend Jedi Jimmy. Both of their accounts will be linked in the description as well. You can keep up to date with what I'm doing on my TikTok and on my Instagram. That's where I post most these days, but I am going to still try and be somewhat active on YouTube. So thank you for keeping up with me if you have. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye!